Dear students, welcome to this new session. Today we will be talking of new chapter of active filters and oscillators. So in this we will be talking of basically low pass filter and high pass filter, and in the next class we will talk of band pass, band reject and all pass filters. So the resources used are the book by Ramakant A. Gaikwad and Sergio Franco. So electric filter is often a frequency selective circuit that passes a specified band of frequencies and blocks or attenuates signals of frequency outside this band. Filters may be classified into a number of ways like analog or digital, passive or active, audio frequency or radio frequency. Analog filters are designed to process analog signals, while digital filters process analog signals using digital techniques. So depending upon the type of elements used in their construction, filters may be classified as passive or active. Elements used in passive filters are resistors, capacitors and inductors. Active filters on the other hand employ transistors or op-amps in addition to the resistors and capacitors. So the type of element used dictate the operating frequency range of the filter. For example, RC filters are commonly used in RDO or low frequency operations, whereas LC, that is inductor and capacitor or crystal filters, are employed at RF or high frequencies. This is especially because of their high quality factor or figure of merit. The crystals provide more stable operation at higher frequencies. So in this section we will present the analysis and design of analog active RC, or you can say audio frequency filters using op-amps. So in audio frequencies, inductors are often not used because they are very large, costly and may dissipate more power. Inductors also emit magnetic fields. So the active filter offer various advantages over passive filter. So first one is gain and frequency adjustment. So the op-amp is capable of providing high gain, so the input signal is not attenuated as in the case of passive filters. So moreover, active filter is easy to tune or adjust the frequency, cutoff frequencies. No loading problem. So because of high input impedance and low output resistance of the op-amp, the active filter does not cause loading of source or the load. Less cost. Typically, active filters are more economical than passive filters. This is because the variety of cheaper op-amps and also the absence of inductors, as already discussed. Although the active filters are most extensively used in the field of communication and signal processing, they are employed in one form or another in almost all sophisticated electronics such as radio, television, radar, satellite and biomedical equipment. They employ active filters. The most commonly used filters are low pass, high pass, band pass, band reject and all pass filters. So each of these uses op amp as active element and resistor and capacitors as passive element. Although 741 op amp work satisfactorily in these filters, but high speed op amps such as LM318 and ICL8017 improve the filter's performance through their increased slew rate and higher unity gain bandwidths. So this shows the frequency response of filters already discussed. Low pass, where the low frequencies are allowed to pass and high frequencies are not allowed to pass or stopped. So this is the stop band of a high pass filter and pass band of a high pass filter. Similarly, for band pass, this is ideal one and this is the practical one. For band reject, there is a band which is to be rejected here. And all pass, it allows all the frequencies to pass, but there is a phase shift between the input and output voltages of an all pass filter. So here you are seeing two type of responses. One is dotted one and this is called the ideal response, and other one which is bold line, this is the practical response of the filter. So basically ideal we cannot achieve with any of the components, so that is why we are talking of practical filters. So the ideal response is shown by this dashed line and the solid line shows the practical response. So a low pass filter has a constant gain from 0 to high cutoff frequency, that is FH. Therefore the bandwidth is FH. Now at FH the gain is 3 dB down, and after that it decreases with increase in input frequency. The frequencies between 0 to FH is called the pass band, whereas the range of frequencies beyond FH, that is the stop band, and beyond these frequencies they are attenuated a lot. Figure shows the frequency response of a low pass filter. So an ideal filter has zero loss in its pass band and infinite loss in its stop band. Ideally, it is not possible to have an ideal filter response and is not practical because linear networks cannot produce this discontinuity. However, it is possible to obtain practical response that approximates the ideal response by using special techniques as well as using high speed op amps and precision component values. So Butterworth, Chebyshev and Cover filters are some of the most commonly used practical filters that approximates the ideal frequency response. The key characteristics of Butterworth filter is that it has a flat pass band as well as flat stop band, and this is also sometimes referred to as flat filter. In case of Chebyshev filter, it has ripples in the pass band but a flat stop band, while in case of core filters, it has ripples in the pass band as well as ripples in the stop band. So generally these filters give best stop band response among the three because of their simplicity of design. The low pass and high pass Butterworth filters are discussed here. It's easier to design Butterworth filters. So this figure shows the high pass filter with a stop band from 0 to FL and pass band F greater than FL, where FL is the low cutoff frequency for this high pass filter and F is operating frequency. Now the active band pass filter has a pass band between two frequency FH and FL, where FH should be greater than FL. So we have two stop bands from 0 to FL and above FH, and the pass band is from FL to FH. This is ideal one, dotted line, and this is the practical one. So the bandwidth of band pass filter is FH minus FL. So the band reject filter perform exactly the opposite of this band pass filter, that is, it has a band stop between FL and FH and pass band from 0 to FL and above FH. Band reject filter is also called band stop or band elimination filter. So these are as shown in figures, and the FC is also called the center frequency, and it is approximately the center of pass band or stop band. So the filter shown above is all pass filter, and this filter passes all frequencies equally well. The output and input voltages are equal in amplitude for all frequencies with a phase shift between the two function of frequency. The highest frequency up to which the input and output amplitude remain equal is dependent upon the unity gain bandwidth of op-amp. At this frequency, however, the phase shift between input and output is maximum. So now we will examine the filter characteristics, especially in the stop band region. The actual response of filter in the stop band either steadily decreases or increases or both with increase in frequency. The rate at which the gain of filter changes in the stop band is determined by the order of filter. For example, first order low pass filter will have gain roll off at 20 dB per decade in stop band because it will be using one capacitor only. On the other hand, for second order low pass filter will be using two capacitors, and because of that the roll off will be increased to 40 dB per decade, and so on for every increase in capacitor or the order of filter. The roll off rate will increase by 20 dB per decade or 6 dB per octave. So the first order high pass filter, the gain increases with 20 dB per decade in stop band, or for a second order this increase will be 40 dB per decade. So here the figure shows first order low pass Butterworth filter that uses RC network for filtering. So here you are using, you will say this R and C. Note that the op amp is used in non-inverting configuration, hence it does not load the RC network. The resistor RF and R1 determines the gain of this filter. So you can see here that FH cutoff frequency is where the amplitude is 0.707 of AF, or you can see this is minus 3 dB down from AF of AF, where AF is the gain given by this op amp. According to voltage divider rule, the voltage at the non-inverting terminal, this V1 will be minus jXC over R minus jXC, where J is minus 1 root that we know, and minus jXC that will become 1 over 2 pi Fc, where F is the frequency and C is the capacitance. So when we simplify this equation, V1 becomes V in over 1 plus J 2 pi Fc. This is the value of V1. Now the output voltage, output here, that is 1 plus RF over R1 times V1, because it is there at positive terminal of the op amp. So V0 becomes 1 plus RF by R1 into V in over 1 plus J 2 pi Fc. From here we can calculate V0 by V in equal to AF over J times F by FH, where V0 by V in is the gain of the filter as a function of frequency, AF is the feedback gain of the amplifier, or you can say the passband gain of the filter here, F is the frequency of input signal, and FH is the high cutoff frequency of this low pass filter, and this is 1 over 2 pi RC. So the gain, magnitude and phase angle equation of low pass filter can be obtained as mod of V0 by V in is equal to AF by root of 1 plus F by FH square. This can be obtained from equation 1b above, and the phase is minus tan inverse F by FH, where phi is the phase angle in degrees. So the operation of this low pass filter can be verified from the gain magnitude equation above, that at very low frequencies F less than FH, V0 by V in mod is nearly equal to AF, that is the gain of op amp. At F is equal to FH and we put the value F by FH, it becomes AF by root 2, that is 0.707 of AF. As F increases much greater than FH, then the gain reduces and it is much less than AF. Thus, the low pass filter has a constant gain AF from 0 to high cutoff frequency of FH, and at FH the gain becomes 0.707 of AF, and after FH it decreases at a constant rate with increase in frequency. This is when the frequency is increased every 10-fold, the voltage gain is divided by 10. In other words, the gain decreases 20 dB, that is 20 log 10 each time the frequency is increased by 10. Hence, the rate at which gain rolls off after FH is 20 dB per decade or 6 dB per octave. Octave means every two-fold increase in frequency. The frequency F is equal to FH is also called the cutoff or breakaway frequency because the gain of filter at this frequency is 3 dB down, or we can say 20 log 0.707 on log scale. This becomes 3 dB from that at 0 Hertz. So other equivalent terms for cutoff frequency are minus 3 dB frequency, breakaway frequency, or corner frequency. This is also called 3 dB frequency or 0.707 of the amplitude or 50% power point. So here, as the amplitude is 0.707, the power becomes 50% at this point. So a low pass filter can be designed by implementing the following steps. So first we need to know that what is the high cutoff frequency for this low pass filter. Then we select C, which is less than or equal to 1 microfarad, and we recommend Mylar or tantalum capacitor for better performance. Then we calculate R using the simple formula we already know. R is equal to 1 over 2 pi FHC. Once this is calculated, then we select R1 and RF dependent on the desired passband gain AF, where AF we know it is equal to 1 plus RF by R1. So we are choosing capacitor because variable capacitors will be quite costly, while using a variable resistor it will be okay as far as cost is concerned. So we first select capacitor. We can first select the resistor and then calculate C from this formula, but that will give me a much costlier filter. So once a filter is designed, there may sometimes be need to change its cutoff frequency. So the procedure used to convert the original cutoff frequency to a new is called the frequency scaling. So it is accomplished by multiplying R or C, not both, by the ratio of original cutoff frequency to the new cutoff frequency. So in filter design, R and C are often non-standard values. Beside variable capacitor, C is not commonly used as already discussed. Therefore, we choose a standard value of capacitance and then calculate the value of resistance for a desired cutoff. This is because the non-standard value of resistors, a potentiometer can be used, and moreover a variable resistor is much less costly as compared to a variable capacitor. Coming to the first order high pass Butterworth filter. So high pass filters are often simply formed by interchanging the frequency determining resistors and capacitor in case of low pass filter. we are just interchanging C and R here. That is, the first order high pass filter is formed from a first order low pass filter by interchanging R and C. Similarly, a second order high pass filter is obtained from a second order low pass filter by just interchanging R and C, and so on for higher orders also. So this is the figure showing first order Butterworth filter, high pass one, and we have interchanged the value of R and C. So the FL, the low cutoff frequency, the frequency at which the magnitude is 0.707 of its pass band. Obviously, all the frequencies higher than FL are pass band frequencies, with the highest frequency determined by the closed loop bandwidth of the op-amp. So for the first order high pass filter, the output equation V0 by Vin we have to find out. So for that we need to find V0, which is nothing but 1 plus Rf by R1 into J 2 pi FRC over 1 plus J 2 pi FRC into Vin. Now V0 by Vin is AF into J F by FL over 1 plus J F by FL, where F is the frequency variable, F is the low cutoff frequency of this high pass filter, AF is the pass band gain of this filter, and FL can be written as 1 over 2 pi RC. Hence, the magnitude of voltage gain V0 by Vin can be written as AF into F by FL divided by 1 plus F by FL square. Since high pass filters are formed using low pass filters simply by interchanging R's and C's, the design and frequency scaling procedures of low pass filters are applicable to high pass filters as such. So in the next class we will be talking about band pass, band reject and all pass filters.